What is going on, guys? Joey Francis here with Flex Training Systems. Today, we're doing something a little bit different. I have the one and only Jonathan Cayco here, and we're going to be answering some of your questions. As you guys know, he just came back from Worlds. He is now the new 93 kg Open World Champion in the Classic division, which is basically raw for us. And yeah, man, it's a long time coming. John, say hello.
What up? What up?
I hope you guys can hear that okay. Without further ado, we're just going to get right into it. And the question that everybody wants to know
First fucking question.
is how tall are you?
Like for real.
Yeah, for real, how tall are
I'm
you?
5'6", like for real.
Okay, for real.
Like I'm not me.
So you guys know John is 5'6". And let me know below, because I'm genuinely curious, why is it that people are so concerned with that? Is it because they want to compare to themselves? Is it because they think if someone's shorter, it diminishes their lifting accomplishments? Is it because, what is the reason? What is your reason? Let me know, because it's just insane how many people want to know that, right? It's like way more of a concern than it should be.
I think it's my silhouette. Or,
Yeah.
I'm just wide,
He is the width master. Okay. How long have you been competing in powerlifting?
7 years now.
7 years, fellas. How long?
Almost 8 now. Fuck. Yeah.
8 years.
Yeah. Almost 8 years now, actually.
Long time coming. How long did it take you to get to where you are today? So, I guess we'll do from lifting. Like, when did you start lifting, and then to world champion?
When I started lifting, I was like 11. And I'm turning 30 next year. So we're closing in on like
19 years of
19
lifting.
Years, yeah. Maybe even 20, because I started like doing push-ups when I was 10.
Was your lifting like with a barbell in the gym, or did you? Or
I had a barbell
Did
at
you
home.
just do whatever?
I had a barbell at home when I was 11. I was doing push-ups when I was 10, so if you want to count that, it's almost 20 years.
Yeah, push-ups were
Push-ups count.
the main thing.
Yeah,
push-ups,
and
trying to do
planks and
pull-ups,
shit, yeah.
body weight stuff, running, all that. When did you? When did you decide you wanted? I think we kind of answered that. When did you decide you wanted to lift? When did you decide you wanted to get into powerlifting?
Powerlifting is when I started. Well, because I've been lifting for a while, and I took a tiny break to do like esports stuff. And when I started getting burnt out on that, I got back into lifting. Like I had more time again, right? So I started lifting again. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, hey, what's popular? And I seen like powerlifting videos with like Dan.
Do you know like what year that was? Like 2012.
13, 12?
Yeah, that was
something
when
like
Dan
that.
Green was
Yeah,
really big,
something
yeah.
like that. Maybe 13, yeah, or late 2012. Because I'd be like, shoot, Dan Green.
Dan Green was
Oh
like,
my God,
I used to
this
look
guy's
at Dan
a
Green
god.
and be like, oh my God,
Yeah.
this guy's nuts.
I'd be like, this dude's
Let
jacked.
me know if you guys even know who Dan Green is. If you don't know who he is, just tell me that, because I feel like this generation
They don't know.
is like not.
Do you know who Brandon Lilly is? Do you remember that name? That's why I did my.
I was.
Yeah.
I helped him put his singlet on at the LA Fit Expo when he busted his knee.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. That's crazy.
We got a really good video of that meet, but there you go, fellas. So around 2012, 13-ish?
Yeah,
Okay.
13-ish, yeah. I was lifting in reps.
Yeah,
you didn't-
I messed with reps too.
No one lifted raw.
I messed
But
with reps
no one
too
used
back
sleeves.
It was I had to learn the hard way how cumbersome it is. How can I learn a Kaioken?
1,000 hours of Dragon Ball.
1,000 hours of Dragon Ball, fellas. Okay. So going back to the question earlier that I had to finish myself because I couldn't read it. When did you decide, or when did you realize okay, I want to win worlds now?
When I started lifting and I did my first meet, I want to say my first meet was 2015. Yeah, 2015 or 2014. And then I watched IPF Worlds. And I was like, I want to get that. I might have watched IPF Worlds 2014.
I didn't even watch worlds back then.
Or 50, I'm not sure. It was one of those.
Was it the one Ashton went?
I don't know. I don't remember.
He was like a junior.
he was like
super-
10 years old, right?
Yeah.
No, like I seen that, and I was like, "Fuck, there's a world champ. Like there's
Yeah.
a like an actual like world championship." I was like, I want to do that," and then here we go.
There we go. Yeah, it's usually like you're watching someone else that's doing a big meet or something like that, and then you're like, wow, I want to do. Like for me, it was like I saw the Arnold, and I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
I saw Lane at the Arnold, and I was like,
Oh yeah,
I was
that was
like,
the
what?
big one.
I
When
was
I
like,
watched
what, Lane
Lane,
does powerlifting?
dude, when I watched Lane do Worlds, that was like the coolest.
Yeah, that was
thing.
dope.
Yeah.
That was dope. Shout out to Lane. And I know Lane is following you. Wow,
Yeah,
he was
messaged
commenting on
me.
my stuff
Yeah,
when
he
I
messaged
posted
me,
you.
yeah.
He was like, war.
Yeah, he he messaged me wishing me good luck leading into Sweden. So, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Best way to increase your deadlift.
Deadlift more.
Boom.
Yeah.
Mind
Fucking
blowing.
get good at it.
Mind blowing, fellas.
Like you can always get
top secret.
You can always get better at deadlifts. Like technique wise,
Yes.
if you can get solid technique, that'll take you so fucking far. Like you won't get hurt. That's like the basic.
He's taking the thoughts out of my head. Any bench tips?
Pause, and when you pausing how the pause feels. Double it, and it'll be like 1 second in your head, like in your hands.
Boom.
Like what you think is a long pause is not a long pause. You just have to like be obnoxious about it and be like,
Yes, there's so many people that are like, man, I feel like I watched it on video and I felt like that was way longer than what it was.
Yeah, just like how pause deads, it doesn't feel, or it feels long, but it's
Perception
only
is not actually reality. What is the story with the loose belt?
I lost weight. I lost weight, and the notch below it was too tight for me, or it felt too tight.
For those of you guys that don't know, at Worlds, and I noticed it too. Your belt was kind of loose.
Yeah.
It was actually a bit more loose than normal, and I think it came unlatched. It came unlatched a few times. I think it was one on the warm ups, and then I watched it again right after you finished your squat, and I was kind of like, man, what if that happens mid rep?
I had to put it on the tighter one for my bench because it wouldn't stay.
That's pretty crazy and mildly concerning.
That's why I have to gain my weight back. Yeah.
So there you go. So the belt, especially, let me ask you. So on deadlift, do you feel the belt helping you? Like, is the belt keeping you from crunching over?
Yes. Like having it looser on deads is fine.
Allow some movement.
Yeah.
You can like get to a point, and then it won't let you go past that point.
Yeah.
And I've noticed, like, for me on deadlifts, if my belt is too tight, I just won't break the ground because I need to round a little bit.
Yeah,
or I can't do it.
Yeah, like if I have it too tight, if I put it to the tighter one especially on deads, it would just feel like I just have no tension. I just feel like shit.
Yeah, and some people like to like fill that space, and that's how they know that they're tight. What do you do outside of powerlifting?
Video games. That's it.
Which is another word or another way of saying like mental reinforcement.
Yeah.
Because some of the shit that we deal with in Apex is 1,000 times more stressful than anything we're gonna deal with in real life.
I was telling Nina on the train ride in Sweden after Worlds, I was telling her like 1v6ing in a search and destroy match is way more stressful than Worlds.
Fuck, dude, yeah. Or like when you're in a BR and you're like 1v1.
Yeah.
Or dude, it's like Apex is 3v3, but let's say your teams are both dead and it's just 1v1.
1v1.
It comes down to that.
Your heart's going like making those those pressure decisions. It's
like when to heal, when should I pepper him?
It's actually good practice.
Yeah, it's literally just peppering them with damage and trying to maintain it's like resource management. Keep your shields up. The worst is when you run out of something. Like you're like, I fucking ran out of bullets. Yeah. Screwed. So we already went over how did you start your lifting journey. How does it feel to be world champ?
As of right now, I don't think it's hit me yet. It's getting there because I'm like getting time to like chill and like just like reflect now, But it feels good. Like I'm not. The thing is because I'm not surprised. You know what I mean?
So for like, there's a question for me here coming up. It's actually right after this, so I'll just go to it. How does it feel knowing both your athletes took gold at Worlds? So for us, Like, we are simply meeting the realistic expectation we set for ourselves. And I believe that the realistic expectation for the team going into Worlds was like, I want everyone that can get gold to get gold, all right? And then I have my other guys that aren't gold medal yet, but try to get them some medals, right? Try to do the best we can, and we did that. So for me as a coach, knowing that it's like a never-ending gauntlet that just never ends, and I never have time to rest, right? Which is kind of shitty because we've been going hard for a long time. Yeah. Preferably I would not John, Russ, Amanda, my super strong people, Jesus especially because he's bigger, Mikey, Cam, Delaney. I don't want them competing all the time. I don't. Yeah. I need you guys to be durable, and we need off season, and we need to build.
Yeah, I got fucked up this year. This is the most injuries I've had in a span of 12 months.
And we had, because we did February, and then right away we had to get going into nationals, and I think
right away
the announcement for nationals was close around that time, and then right away after nationals we had to get ready for Worlds. So it's just we don't really have time. I mean, we made it through. We handled everything. But I don't remember which prep it was. You had a little something that was bothering you. It was your back. It was your back.
I got my back.
Was that nationals?
That was nationals because I hurt my glute, and it started
everything. Yeah.
It started spreading to my back, and that was fun. My low back stuff that made me feel old, and then that spread to my SI, and that was just you just
I had some juniors do teen or collegiates and then teen nationals right after. They just signed up for it, and I was like, all right, I guess you guys are doing it. And they just didn't do as well. It's just not as good when you don't have the time to prep and take care of yourself. And you need to go through the phase of you have your relaxing off season, and then you're excited to compete because you haven't competed, and then you start building up for it, and then you start getting to the end of prep and you're ready for it to end. Right, and then you finally compete and you complete the cycle. You need to have that downtime again, but we didn't have that because of obviously the world situation. Everything was screwed up. And what sucks is we just competed in September, October, right? And we have we have a shorter time frame. It's not October to October. It's October to June now. Yeah. So we have less months to just injury management. Have an off season, fix things, experiment with stuff. We just have less time, and it's kind of stressful. But I think after June, hopefully they keep it June. It's gonna be June only, and then we'll have a June, and then a nationals, and then everything is set in stone again, and we can get back on schedule.
Yeah, I do not want to do 3 meets a year.
Yeah, it's just not. I cannot tell you the last time I did 3 meets. I just do the Arnold. It's one. I just do only one. But yeah, so we just need that time. But yeah, I mean, we did what we wanted to do, and it's kind of I mean, don't get me wrong, in the moment we were very happy. Tina was crying of happiness, everybody was fucking crying of happiness, but it's almost you can either get neutral or you get disappointment because you're doing what you expect.
Exactly. There's no past that. It's just it's if you fuck up, you're sad. If you do it, you're okay.
Okay, good. Sure. This is what I wanted.
Cool.
This is what I believed I could do. Right.
Yeah.
And it's I heard I watch a lot of UFC and I listen to fighters, and they say it's very stressful being the person everyone's chasing all the time. Dude, when I'm coaching Mikey in his position, it's there's no stress. Fuck, everybody thinks we're gonna get second anyway. If we win, then we get first. Holy shit. But we're doing our best to try to get to the top, and it's way easier to chase someone or chase something or be
exactly
we got nothing to lose versus we're at the top of this fucking mountain and we got to maintain it this whole time, and we're just fighting people off of the top of the mountain constantly. You had to go through, you had to win nationals and you had to fight someone then, and then you had to go to Worlds and you had to fight a beast then, and not to mention the Worlds guy is in his hometown.
Yeah.
And we had to travel there. You know what I mean? And that anybody that's traveled like that, it's just different. It screws you up. And you were still able to come out on top. So it's just you beat him on his best day. That is dope. And that, I think, was what made it even better. Is because you beat him on his best day in his hometown. And you had to go through all that shit. And Like February, John, that was like had a full year of rest.
Dude.
We didn't have to do any meets. You were just
Dude, that February meet,
and you had more.
I had more that.
You had
meet.
more, yeah.
That's crazy.
So I mean, you know, that's kind of. I hope that made sense. I was all over the place, but you guys get what I'm saying. Next question: do you care about the level of competition if you're top ranked in regards to like the different federations? For example, there's a narrative out there that most of the competition is going to be at USAPL, but I mean, clearly you guys saw like Worlds had some good people. Like
it should be, right?
Yeah, in my opinion, I mean, I'll let you answer. Like, what do you care? Like, I guess let me make it more interesting. Would you still do Worlds if Worlds had like just super weak lifters that you could beat all the time?
I mean, I would do. Yeah, I mean, I would do it regardless.
Yeah,
it's just fun that I get to fight people.
And and I don't think it's gonna stay like it wouldn't stay like that because obviously people want to go to the bigger thing, and the world level is always gonna be bigger than the national level. If it's not there yet, eventually it will be there, and I think that it's a matter of time before Worlds is in like somewhere really nice, like it's like Canada or Hawaii or somewhere that's easy, or United States or somewhere easy to get to. And then more people are going to want to do it. And then obviously all the top competitors are going to be there. And to be fair, 105s are ridiculously good and strong at the world level. 93s are really, really good at the world level. Supers are not bad. Couple of the other classes, they need to get a little bit more deep. But I think it's just a matter of time. And as long as they keep, you know, I think when Sheffield happens, you guys have heard me say this a million times, then we're going to see just like a level of depth that we've never seen before. And we're starting to see it, especially in the girls classes, which were like traditionally behind, where there's like one outlier that's just at the top and she's just winning constantly. And then now we're starting to see these new girls come into it. So I think the world level is going to get harder and harder and harder. And there's definitely like, you know, international 105s they're right there with our 105s. You know what I mean? They're not chumps. That's for sure. Next question. What were you most worried about going into Worlds?
Everything but lifting. Literally everything but lifting. COVID, you know, the international travel and all that shit, all the paperwork, all the little things you have to sign and make sure that are like, that you're good, you know? You know, one of the big ones was like, what if you test positive while you're there and you're stuck there for 2 weeks, right?
That was guys, that was one of the reason Tina didn't want me to go.
Yeah, you know, and that's fine, you know, but like, that's you still worry about it, you know?
Yeah, you're kind of screwed if you get caught.
And, just everything to get there. Everything but lifting. So when I was lifting, I was just happy. I was like, I can just lift. I can just, you know, when I was there and I started lifting and I was warming up, I thought about it and I was just like, okay, cool. Fucking everything's done and I get to just lift. I'm just going to enjoy this. Like, I'm not going to, like, win or lose, I'm just going to let myself enjoy this now. Like, after everything, I get to lift here. So, win or lose, I'm happy.
What is the next arc?
Filler for a second. Because we've been having some crazy arcs, a lot of animation. The budget's kind of low. So.
Filler arc is coming up.
Yeah, filler arc has to happen. There's, pacing. Because the filler arc, then the final episode of the filler arc is going to have some plot twist that's going to set up for the next season.
There you go.
Or the movie.
How did your nutrition change coming into the meet?
For this one, was the first time. I got with Fam. I don't know if you guys know.
Fam is fit. Yeah. Shout out to Fam.
And he's great. He's awesome. And he's a nutritionist. First time I've worked with a nutritionist. It was really outside of my comfort zone. And it was actually kind of really hard for me to take that step. Because it's just, it's just out of your comfort zone, right? Because normally I would just like kind of eat. But I lost a lot of weight after so I did a February meet. And then I started like gradually losing a lot of weight. And I don't know why, probably just stress. And like I kind of, leading them to that meet, I was, I just kind of like did what I wanted to do. And all of a sudden I had to get back into prep for Nats. And I ended up losing like an extra few pounds. And I win Nats and then I got with Fam. And so I needed to gain that weight back, which I kind of did. I gained a little bit back. So that was good. But I'm still good to gain, like honestly, like 3 to 5 pounds. Like I didn't even have to sweat into Worlds. and I still came in 2 pounds under.
And you were at weight early, like really early.
I was like literally weighed of like 2 days out. I was like, okay, sure.
Was it difficult to navigate your way in Sweden due to the language change?
A little bit. The scariest part was, so we did the big ass flight from LAX to London, and then we went London to Gothenburg, right? The scariest one was we were there late, and then we had to take a bus to the train station and take the correct, take the correct bus to the correct train station, correct train to Halmstad. That was the scariest thing, because when we got there, it was late, and there was like one person standing outside, and they didn't speak English. So we were just like, fuck, right? And the trains were like leaving, and you had to like kind of, hustle to find out like, is this the right one? So
is John doing anything different from the average lifter programming wise? I guess I will answer that, and then John can kind of add. I mean, for those of you that have done my workshops, I've shown you 3 different lifters training, and you guys can see they're similar. There's just different like little frequency and accessories here and there, but for the most part, the principles are the same. And John said it earlier, you guys are doing the same 3x8 that John's doing. You know what I mean? Just the weight is different because it's RPE, so it's going to be like what you can do. That's how it's custom.
The 3x8 is grueling for everyone.
Yeah. There's really like, I have the same approach, with everyone, but I do know, like, for example, like some lifters I have to keep 2 times a week deadlift, or
or else they forget.
Actually, I've been rotating. I have a really good system down, and I just apply it to everyone, and it just fucking works on everyone. like there's that just goes to show that it's, how do I say it? It's like John has the physical ability to be the best in the world, but Billy Joe, who's like an average lifter, can still make same or similar percentage progress if they put in the work that John does. It's just their top end cap, like maximum strength, may not get to where John is at, because obviously there's like a genetic component too. But that doesn't mean that, if John puts like 10% on his total in like 18 months, like anybody could do it. Anybody could put 10% on their total. I just think that what John does really well is that he focuses on little technique things and his nutrition in a way, and his recovery. He really, really focuses on his water, his recovery. He knows that he can beat you just by doing those little things and managing, like, you guys remember the training variables video I did a while back? Like, if he does all of those things and he keeps his energy expenditure outside the gym low, and he's focusing on training, and most of his recovery is like being allocated to his powerlifting, then he's going to perform well. And I think a lot of people underestimate those other things outside the gym, like those little things. They just like, because I don't know, it's like indirect, it's like, you mean if I sleep and rest, I can be strong? When in our minds, we think we need to do more. You need to overdo it. You need to kill yourself. So, he's not doing anything that's like crazy, super wild or out there. And to be frank, to be honest with you guys, our best prep ever, we literally had like maybe like 8 to 10 movements, and really most of his progress was literally, it was like squat, close grip, deadlift, pros bench, lat pull downs, and like fucking curls.
I had a rack and a bar.
Rack bar curls. That was it. And that was when his numbers, that was when his bench especially blew up a lot.
Do you remember what I hit in the garage? Like when I was
550?
560. Because I got up to 220. I was like 220 almost during shutdown.
I do remember you benching something dumb. So that just goes to show, it's like the simple, boring thing is probably the best thing. That's something you guys can understand. So, yeah, that is that. I mean, what do you think separates you from the average lifter?
I have no ego. If it's fucking heavy that day, I'll drop the weight. If it feels good, I'll add like a little bit. Like I always tell myself, especially the days I feel good. And I'm like, I could fucking pull like 780 right now type shit, right? And like...
You don't like... You always respect
I respect the
the
whole
weight and like, all right, if I fuck this up, I'm gonna pay for it. Like
Yeah.
you have to pay for everything that you do in the gym.
Yeah. You know, like I'm always thinking a full plan. I'm not looking at this single day. I'm looking at the whole training leading into whatever this is, right? Because I think about like future me will be happy that I stayed in the pocket today, you know?
You heard it there, fellas. Sustain.
And honestly, like I think the way I approach training has helped a lot. Though I've had everyone has injuries. Everyone has little aches and pains and little things here and there, you know? But like the way I train is just, I don't go, I still keep it challenging, obviously. You have to, right? You need stimulus. But like I don't like kill myself every day in training, you know?
What are your life goal training numbers or like lifetime? Just comp numbers? Yeah.
I actually have that in mind because I have like maybe 10 years to do it, honestly. And I would like to do like a 733, maybe a little more squat. 733 squat, like a 560 bench at 93 would be cool. Like in comp, 550, 560. And I'd just like to pull like 801 to 822 type thing. And this is all as 93, And after that, I'm like, peace. See you.
If you don't believe you can do it, fellas, you're probably not gonna get there. You know what I mean? You gotta like when I tell John in 2017 or 2018, or I tell Jesus when I just meet him, hey, you're gonna be world champion one day. It's because I believe it. Like I believe it. Like it's not there yet, but I think I truly think it. Like, and then you just kind of make it happen. You're fulfilling. It's like I went to the future and I saw what reality could be, and then I came back to the past and I'm like, okay, what do I need to change now to make that?
Well, how do we get to that?
Yeah. Shout out to Tokyo Revengers. So when you first learned about powerlifting, did you believe that winning worlds would be a possibility? Like when you first found it, yeah.
When I first found out about it, well, I didn't even know what worlds was.
Like. Okay.
Like once I figured out what Worlds was,
yes
and no, until I saw Worlds and I was like, I want to do that.
What accessories have helped you the most?
If I had to, literally, I've been asked this before. If I had to choose like two or three,
yeah.
Literally like dumbbell flat bench with like bodybuilder in mind, like ROM and getting a pump. Lat pull down, same thing, bodybuilder in mind, and then like honestly, if you're newer, maybe like even leg press, just to get mass, or something like that.
For me, I was a hack squat demon.
Hack squat?
Yeah, but that shit is hard on your knees.
I never had one of those.
Yeah, I would go crazy on it. I would just blast your quads. It is truly a quad movement, and it's not fun at all. Next question. Biggest difference going from Nats to Worlds, like from a mental perspective.
Mental perspective? Nothing really. It was the same. It's business. For me, like platform's business. Like it's just another meet. And if you make it more than that, then you're just playing yourself. Honestly, like if you try and romanticize shit and like I'm kind of like going off, but like it's not. It's just a meet. It's just a meet, and it so happens that it's a big one.
So I guess the takeaway from that is just like stay focused on what you're doing, and you still have numbers to hit, you still have to execute, and don't get so caught up in like who you're going against or what they're doing or what training numbers they hit. Just fucking do your thing.
You have to separate emotion from business.
Yeah, especially if it's against a person that's not proven themselves.
That's why I'll cry after.
Yeah,
that's why I'll do it after. You don't see me crying on my first attempt. You know what I mean?
What is your favorite protein source?
I currently use. Food.
Yeah,
there's two things.
Favorite, yeah.
Food, steak, 100% ribeye. Expensive as fuck, but it tastes good. A lot of fat. It's like literally half fat. Have you seen like the nutrition label of a ribeye?
It's like 29 fats, like 2 carbs and like
22 protein.
30, yeah,
it's like this. It's literally like 50-50, and then whey, obviously.
I'm pretty sure at Korean barbecue they use a meat that's similar.
There's a lot. It depends on the meat you get. You can choose.
There's like, it literally looks like a shredded up ribeye. It looks like they took the ribeye and they went like super thin.
No, those are the briskets.
Briskets?
Those are briskets. Yeah.
What's the chunky one? It's like it's fatty though.
The bulgogi?
I don't know. It's meat. It looks like steak, but it's like fat.
Those are like short ribs sometimes.
We're about to find out.
Yeah, we're about to go
later.
Hold up. So steak, and I'm gonna plug Elemental. Omar and Ben they've been good to me. They're the owners of Elemental Formulations. If you haven't tried it, it's whey protein and it's a watermelon sorbet flavor. They said do it with water. I do it with milk, and it reminds me of like that Japanese strawberry milk. Have you had that?
I have not.
And it's good.
You hear that, fellas?
Yeah. Little plug there. Use my code. Cayco.
Is it just Cayco?
Yeah, it's just Cayco.
Would you consider moving up a weight class?
No, because I'm having trouble staying 93. I can fall to 83s really quick, you know?
What is something... Plus, like, I don't want Cayco and Mikey to fight. That's...
Mikey's the homie.
I would move Mikey up if you did.
Hell no. Mikey's the homie. I wouldn't be able to...
If you did, I'd literally be like, Mikey, let's just go. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with that. Would you ever consider... Okay, what is something that you wish you did earlier in your powerlifting career?
Get a coach. I wish I had some fucking direction.
You hear that, brothers?
Like when I started, people ran small off. I ran fucking small off in reps. I remember doing like some stupid ass sets of 10 in rap and like tight ass reps. You know, I'm pretty sure I lost like a year of life off that.
I know that things are changing because nobody talks about Smolov and Cayco.
I haven't heard that word
Nobody
in a long time.
talks about it. You know what I mean?
Remember the cube?
Now they talk about the Rust Power Building Program 2.0.
I don't even know anymore.
They don't even talk about the fucking Cayco shit and all that, which is great because that thing just fucking broke people.
Yeah. I'm surprised I came out of that like kind of unscathed.
Yeah, that's hey man, that's how you know you're meant for it. Okay, last one. John kind of already answered it, maybe not. When did you both know that John had the potential to become world champ? You first.
Me first? World champ. When I placed 4th at my first nationals.
That was
2017. And we had worked, that was our first meet. That was
Florida,
our first meet
right?
together. Yeah, that was Orlando.
Yeah.
That was our first meet together. I did a meet June of that year. I had no coach. And then I qualified for Nats, and I was like, I'm not going to Nats alone. That was my, you know, there's like no way. I have to get out of my comfort zone and ask someone for help. And
for some guys, that's hard because you have like ego and you don't want to do it. And luckily, like, we got along really well, like, fucking way better than, I would say that me and John's relationship is like unrealistic in a sense that, not everyone is gonna just be like super close with me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just not gonna be like we have so many things in common. We watch animes with like certain things. We play games. Like, we understand. We lift and
the same games. You know.
You know, I have a Tina. He has a Nina. Like, I mean, we have a little dog. We're like each have.
We both have brothers named Chris. That's what I'm saying. We both have a dog named Bear.
Oh, I do. I do. He's big as fuck. Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, I just always believe in my lifters, and, you know, I remember that meet, I think it was Dave Ricks, LS, and Ashton.
I remember.
And I was like, dude, I remember telling you, I was like, I will take it. The first meet to get to, like, they're the ones that were ahead of you, that's fine, right?
Yeah.
And then I think the next Nationals...
2018. That was in...
I think you got 4th again, but it was like closer.
Yeah.
And then 2019, it was like not close at all. Like,
yeah, I think 2019 I won by like 25 kilos.
Yeah, I think Charlie was second.
Yeah.
Shout out to Charlie. Yeah. Charlie ended up just like...
I think he's boxing now, right?
He does everything. He just like throws logs and like swims.
Just like runs up mountains and shit.
Right, chops things. But yeah, I mean, I was saying since, you know, for a long time that, like I said, John has the work ethic and he clicks with me and he listens and he cares about training a lot. And I know that is a force that you do not want to underestimate. And I was like, this guy has potential. I just kept telling King of the Lifts back then. I was like, man, this guy's going to be good. This guy's going to be good. And, you know, we, oh, they might hear that? Yeah, my bad. I was like scratching my pen. I was doing this a lot too the whole fucking time. But yeah, man. And it just goes to show, like, if you believe it, you could do it. And we've shown that time and time again. We've done it with numerous lifters on the team. And, you know, I'm just happy you got this one because it was like, we went through so much and it's been a long journey and we should have done it last year. But we finally did it now. And, you know, now we'll see what challenges lie ahead after this filler arc. But
filler arc. See where animation budget comes from.
There you go. But yeah, guys, that's it. A little bit different of a video today. Let me get a hashtag Team Cayco, hashtag Team Cayco in the comments down below. Thank you guys if you made it this far, you are a real one. And yeah, see you later.